Hey party people, it's Taylor, owner of Elor Event Planning, and today we're talking about RSVP management and how to nail it. Today we're going to talk about a couple of tips to help you nail your RSVP management, because I know it can be super daunting for couples and it's kind of like it's out of your control a little bit, so it's kind of difficult sometimes. My number one tip is to pick a realistic RSVP date. You want to give your guests enough time to RSVP and check their schedules and send in the mail and forget to send in the mail and actually send in the mail and then not put it in their car when they go to the post office and then they send it 3 weeks later than they're originally going to send it. You know, that kind of thing. Anyway, so you want to send out your invitation typically about 8 weeks before your wedding and then have RSVPs due 4 to 5 weeks before the wedding. Now, that's just an average to take into account specific kind of intricacies of your own wedding. You also want to build in enough time for you to hunt down those people that don't RSVP at all. So put that into your time block. You're going to want to make sure that your RSVP due date is early enough ahead of when your venue and caterer's RSVP due date is, so it gives you time to track down those stragglers. My second tip is to keep a spreadsheet of responses. This is just the easiest way to do this. It's completely uncomplicated. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can even do it on paper with pencil if you want to, like whatever you want to do. There's a lot of different options for online ways to track this, but if you don't want to get complicated or fancy, spreadsheet's the way to go. My third tip is to number the cards. So what you want to do is on the back of the card, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 continuously, and put that number next to their name on the spreadsheet. So if they send their RSVP card back to you without their name on it, you can just look up their number and know, oh, okay, Aunt Sue is RSVPing. Martha Stewart recommends you do this with invisible ink. If you want to get that fancy, go for it. I think a small little number in the corner is okay too. Another RSVP tip that I have is you don't have to go super traditional if you don't want to. Normally people will send you an RSVP, like little card that you mail back in your pre-addressed, pre-stamped envelope. However, if your wedding isn't as formal or your budget doesn't allow for that kind of a thing, you can absolutely have people RSVP via email or text or phone call. Now granted, you might not get the super fun experience of going to your mailbox and getting the RSVPs, but you'll still probably get really loving notes from your family, seeing how excited they are to go to your wedding. So, while maybe not the most traditional option, it might really work out well for some couples, especially now during times of COVID. It might be helpful to give people a more flexible option. My last and final tip is to make sure that your RSVP cards are easy to use. A lot of people don't know what the little M means. When you have them on cards, it's for you to write in your name. You'll write Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. and then you write your name out. And if you have a spot for how many guests are coming, sometimes it's nice to fill out the max number of people that you want to come, because otherwise then people know, okay, it's just me and my husband that are invited. There's only 2 people, so obviously little Johnny can't come. Have one of your friends who maybe haven't been to a bunch of weddings look over your RSVP card or look at it with a really careful eye to make sure everything is easy to understand and make sense. That's it. Those are my quick and dirty tips for nailing your RSVPs. If you have a hot tip you want to share with us, please drop it in the comments. I'd be happy to share it with everyone. And I hope your RSVPing goes well. Have a good one, guys.